Welcome back, Capricorns. I am your reader, Nastasia, with Insights with Spirit. And I have already laid out your wonderful spread. So let's get right into it, okay? For the first week of August, I pulled for you guys the High Priestess, which indicates to me automatically trusting your inner voice and really trusting the intuition and messages that you're receiving without any work. There is a little bit of work to be done. I mean, you have to be in a certain place, I think, to really come from that high priestess environment. But at the same sense, it's like intuition, it just flows into you and you know, you know something, you know. So that's what I mean in that sense. So, I'm seeing some of you are really highly intuitive, psychic. I mean, you're very much in that veil of the, spiritual world and also the earthly world. I see that something you may pick up from your intuition, maybe, from talking to your partner. You pick up something that doesn't sit very well with you and makes some of you want to free yourself and leave the situation. I see, that you may feel like you have to almost sneak away from this person, that you have gotten this, whether it's your partner or someone else, a family member, uh, somebody that you deeply care for. You are having to make a decision, some of you, to break from the situation, and you are actually leaving, you know, at the wee hours of the night, I feel, um, so that you won't be seen leaving, you know. I really get from the Six of Swords coming in on your second week of August, that something about your safety and security has been breached in a way, and you are fleeing the situation because you are terrified for your family, you are terrified for yourself, you are terrified for your state of being. So you are making way to leave that, and you might be traveling away from this. You might be going possibly overseas. If not overseas, you are definitely, you know, moving in a direction away from this, whatever is going on. Um, and I see in the, coming in the third week that some of you also may be feeling, a little bit defensive after all of this. A little bit, it's the Nine of Wands, so you're feeling, there's a battle that you may have just gotten through, barely, but you're still going, you're still ready to take on another battle if anything comes up against you or comes up against who you love or what you love. I mean, you are making a stand for yourself, is what I see. You are not giving up, and you feel a little bit beat up, but you inside are still wholeheartedly strong and driven to find and secure that safety and that safe space for you and your family. I also see for some of you at the end of the month, the fourth week into August, is the Eight of Pentacles. And just like my Cappies, I mean, you're constantly reworking the situations, uh, trying to research new things to make the relationship and your life better. I mean, you know, I have met some lazy Capricorns, but most of the time, Capricorns are very, how can I say, very analytically driven to, go over the details as many times as it takes to make the plan better and to make the plan last. So I'm proud of you guys for getting right back into to it, and you know this could be also you working not only on your relationships but also on yourself. Maybe there's things in this battle that you learned that you've got to push through and break through for you to have a better relationship with yourself and with others. Um, but I do see you guys coming out on this. My coupled Capricorns, I see you're your intuition is on high. It's been on high for, I feel like pretty much this whole year of 2015. But it's still on high. They say that we won't be able to take a break till September. Okay, the planetary conjunctions that are going on in September are really going to round us back out, and we are basically going to be. We're going to be. We've already been stepping into this spiritual, huge spiritual shift within ourselves that we've probably been working at for a very long time, but now we're starting to see the results in it. And it can be very difficult in our relationships because we see the bigger picture, we see the future plan. And if there's certain things that come up that make that plan seem like it's going to crumble, it can be terrifying for us, and it can cause us to want to flee. Um, uh, I don't think that Capricorns are very good at confrontation. I think that, most of us probably just bail, you know, which is, a quality I've had. And I am not proud of it. Being a Capricorn, I, will try and try and try and try and try and try and try. And, ultimately, if it affects my spiritual growth and my overall stability in where I'm going and where I would like to be, you know, it it terrifies me, and I almost just want to like abandon ship because I'm used to rebuilding and starting over from scratch. But I am also a finisher. I like to start something and finish something, but I can exhaust myself. So it's a balance, of course. But we are, you're super duper highly intuitive right now, still. And, there's some things that can cause you to feel like you want to run away. This is the perfect example, instead of wanting to flee, if you are coupled, maybe finding a sacred space for yourself that you can go to, in a sense that you are fleeing, but you aren't abandoning the family, abandoning, your responsibilities. You're just taking some space for yourself, which we definitely need to do more of, because it's hard for us to gauge when that break should be, because we'll just keep going and going and going and going, trying to find and see the results. So find a safe space for yourself that you can completely be who you need to be, and release whatever creative, try to release whatever you have inside of you creatively, productively, and you'll feel a lot better for it. I know we like to feel like what we are doing is for a purpose. We don't want to just work in a job that we feel is purposeful, or not purposeful, but purposeless. Purposeless. Is that? I hope I'm saying that right. But we need to do something meaningful. We need to do something that we know we're giving back and we're making people happy. And we're I'm definitely a people pleaser. When somebody else is happy, I feel happy. I like to sing and I like to dance. I like to perform. I've done that since a young age, and I love the way it makes others feel, and I love the way it makes, in return, the reward is just priceless because you made somebody else's day. So I really think that, finding that safe space, you're going to be able to heal yourself and come out of this and of course you do. Of course you do. You always find the solution one way or another, whether it takes a few days or a month, a few weeks, maybe even. We will find the solution and we will apply it. So, it may be a little bit of a rough patch through here because you're seeing things that you maybe didn't see before, and it's kind of disappointing. But stay grounded and stay positive and just make it, fun for yourself. Continue to do your research in, broadening, your perspective on relationships. Maybe you need to, do more activities in your relationship together as one, and establish a different type of bond, or just do things more as one to make your bond stronger. And instead of finding out little hidden secrets, coming up all over the place, and maybe wondering, well, what's going on here? What's the bigger picture? Maybe by doing a little bit more research, you can find a new way to communicate with your partner. Communication is everything. And, you can find out why they're being stubborn, or why they're just being quiet, or why maybe they're acting out in whatever way that they act out. So I hope that helped you guys. For those that are dating, I see, maybe the dating scene hasn't been so hot, hasn't been so easy. Maybe everybody that you're dating has some kind of crazy Ted Bundy flaw. I don't know. But I think that, you're going to go back to the drawing board, at the end of the month. You might have, kind of a situation where you feel like you just need to take a break from dating for a minute and, focus on kind of what kind of dating you've been looking at and going for, what kind of guys you've been going for, or ladies that you've been going for, and you're really, reworking, maybe what you can do to maybe attract a better partner, and, really making yourself better and raising your frequency so that you attract a more compatible partner. So that is all I'm getting for right now. So, your love oracle card that you guys pulled is: love does not know about yesterday and tomorrow. It is always new. See? So I feel like that goes right back on into, continue to research. I know we love our research. We can never get enough of that knowledge on how to make it spicier, zestier, more stable, more fun, more bright, more, interesting. So I hope this helps some of you out there. If it did, please comment below. Let me know your story, what's going on. I may not be able to write to all of you, but I do try to thumbs up everybody that does leave me a comment. Thank you so much for everybody to, subscribing, liking, and sharing my videos. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe below in the right little red play button, picture below here. And yeah, I will see you next month, September 2015. And also, I'm thinking about doing a weekly video for the signs. So, I don't know when I'm going to start that yet, but just look forward to it and have an amazing month of August. All right. See you later, Cappies. Bye.